Ugh. Then we get to the other abomination of a this other segment. El Torito wrestling Hornswoggle dressed up as a gator. Yeah, El Matadores are in a feud with Heath Slater and Titus O'Neil, collectively known as Slater Gator. Okay, that's actually not a bad name. The Gator, I guess, comes from where Titus O'Neil went to college. Yeah. But this sucked. It was god-awful. So let's move on. Let's get to Dean Ambrose. The only reason I would ever give a shit about Raw at this point. So there's supposed to be a 3-on-2 handicap match involving Cena and Rollins. Cena had ran out on Rollins or Ambrose on SmackDown, trying to get to Seth Rollins, and thus Ambrose lost the match. So there's supposed to be a 3-on-2 handicap match with Ambrose and Cena against Rollins, Kane, and Randy Orton. Okay. There's a segment in the ring. Eventually, Ambrose says, you know what? You're on your own. Maybe I'll go to Coney Island. I'm going to grab a hot dog, ride the Wonder Wheel. And he walks out. It's like, screw you, Cena. I'm out of here. The only thing that would have been much better is like screw you, Cena. I'm going home. So Ambrose just, helping make Raw just a little tolerable than what was, seen before. He legitimately leaves, gets on a train, and books it the hell out of there. Of course, he would come back later in the night as it's a 3-on-1 handicap match. Triple H is like, alright, I will make Rollins start the match, knowing full well that Rollins was going to tag out as soon as the bell rang, which he did. Eventually, the Authority gets DQ'd because Kane enters the ring illegally and kicks Cena in the face. Yeah, one of the worst. Where are they going to get DQ'd for next week? Talking trash? Oh, maybe trying to enter the ring illegally. Oh, God. But Ambrose comes back with a hot dog cart. I know, good guy Dean Ambrose says he's going for a hot dog, brings enough for everybody. Somehow, Orton and Kane get covered in ketchup and mustard. And just hilarious. But let's get to the real highlight of Monday Night Raw. Rusev and Lana. And no, not just because Lana's smoking hot. Because Rusev and Lana are probably the best heel act next to Rollins in the company. Hey, as long as there's not some insane Russian terrorist attack that causes this whole thing to have the rug swept out from under it, I'll be happy. Because remember what happened to Muhammad Hassan about 9 years ago? This Muhammad Hassan was he was a good worker in the ring. Him and Daivari were just an amazing heel act. But unfortunately, the London terrorist attacks came the day of a Friday Night SmackDown where there were 6 guys in black, just face, ski mask, all that came and beat down the Undertaker after he kicked Daivari's ass, and they carried him out like a god or whatever. They didn't have time to edit out the segment, so it aired, and then the network completely said, we don't want this guy on TV anymore. So he was actually, what I heard, the plans were to have him come back. He was going to end up winning the WWE title at one point. That he was going to end up winning the world title. But unfortunately, bad timing. He got the rug cut out from under him. I guess he retired from wrestling soon after. But Daivari's still around. He's still wrestling. He wrestled in WWE for a number of years. He actually went to TNA for a while, when they still had a halfway decent product until the shit fest that really kind of started in 2009, and then when Hogan came in, he just ass raped the company to oblivion. So I'm hoping none of this is freezing, because my fucking recording is just a dick. But yeah, so they come out, they're doing their thing. WWE had to apologize for the Russian flag incident because of Big Show, and he's in sensitivity training. By the way, Rusev beats Dolph Ziggler, the Intercontinental Champion, on SmackDown. Does he get a title shot? Hell no. They don't give a shit. But they're coming out, and they are just, they're getting heat. Rusev's a damn good worker, too. He's one of these, like, a big, just a big beefed up 300-pound monster that's wrecking everybody. I just hope it isn't all just to be fed to Superman, John Cena. Hey, if it's Kurt Angle, and, he ends up coming back to WWE on, like, a part-time schedule, works WrestleMania against Rusev, I wouldn't mind if Rusev does the job there. If it's Cena, I do, because, it's always, Cena wins, LOL. It would just be a waste to have him built up just to be fed to Cena. Anyway. I'm already on 24 minutes, I'm not even a fucking SmackDown yet. What the hell? Oh, God. Okay, so they're doing their thing, and it looks like, the segment's over, or someone's going to come out, or, and do something. Someone came out. And it was probably the last person you would expect. All of a sudden, this music hits, and the crowd fucking explodes. The Rock. After 2 abomination, just god-awful, worst segments in Monday Night Raw history, The Rock comes out. I guess it was because the Monday Night Football game was at halftime. I guess there's a new thing. They're going to pull something amazing to get people to watch at halftime. Whatever. But he comes out, the crowd fucking explodes, he gets in the ring, he gets a holy shit chant, and a this is awesome chant, without saying or doing a goddamn thing besides showing up. Gets in and you get this amazing back and forth. It's just The Rock doing what he does best. And this, the shows the biggest fucking problems with wrestling nowadays, especially WWE. All their promos are scripted to the fucking punctuation mark. It's insane. See, you gotta let these guys, you give them a direction of where to go and let them get there. That's what works. Like, it's like if someone, scripted the infamous, Austin 316 promo at King of the Ring 96. No way would that have worked if that wasn't ad-libbed. No one would have thought of that. Besides Stone Cold Steve Austin. And pretty much The Rock and Dean Ambrose made this show more tolerable than it is. Let's get SmackDown. I haven't watched the show yet, but there's really, it's the big 15th anniversary SmackDown. As far as some of my favorite SmackDown moments, you got to have Big Show and Brock Lesnar breaking the damn ring. You have to have the supermarket brawl between Booker T and Stone Cold. I was just watching that SmackDown on the network earlier today. Price check on a jackass. God, Austin. Oh my God, that's hilarious. And when you think of some of the great matches, you think, Edge and Eddie Guerrero. You think TLC 3. I'll put that one on there. The forgotten TLC because Chris Benoit is in it. That was a great match. Angle and Brock Lesnar, 1 hour Iron Man match. Oh. But I guess there was a segment where Stephanie McMahon was dancing, in the ring with Adam Rose and the Rosebuds. John Laurinaitis and Teddy Long came back, apparently reignited their rivalry. And I'm not a fan of John Laurinaitis. Teddy Long, I guess, came out, and then JBL gets up from the commentary and goes and like high fives him. He's like dancing. He's like, oh, he's like happy. Just happy Teddy Long was back. Who would apparently sell Viagra to the boys. Yeah. Cameron, she got a fucking DUI. You know, tried to bribe the cop. A-okay, she's appearing on Raw and then on Botchamania. But apparently you're selling drugs in Viagra in the locker room. That's not okay. Whatever. But they reignite their rivalry, and then we get the ultimate, you know, Teddy Long wet dream. It's a 15-man tag team match, playa. God. Here's how they qualify it as a 15-man. On one side was Hornswoggle, the other was El Torito. That was the biggest, you know, Teddy Long has pretty much been known for two things in his time in WWE. And not a lot of people talk about his time managing. He managed guys like Rodney Mack and Mark Henry. And I think Chris Nowinski at one point. Okay. He was known, you know, as when he was run as a GM for two things, and I'm about 30 minutes in this video. Jesus. But two things. Making someone go one-on-one with The Undertaker. Trust me, if Undertaker was healthy enough to have wrestled this, still be wrestling at least, you know, semi-regularly, they probably would have him show up and make it just pull that out. And the other was the tag team match. So we get a 15-man tag team match. Yeah. You know, 15 years of SmackDown. It's on YouTube, but there was a bit, this is a backstage like bit with Triple H and The Rock that was, I guess, recorded after Raw Monday. That is just, it's like 5 minutes of awesomeness. These guys are just going back and forth, like it's just great. The only other revelation that, you know, we can get from SmackDown is there's been a stipulation added for Hell in a Cell. Well, there's been two. One makes it the only time I will ever not give a flying fuck about a Hell in a Cell match. Even some of the worst, the Hell in a Cell matches in the last couple years since the company went PG. There's still been something to like. You know, there was one between Punk and Ryback. That was still enjoyable because it's CM Punk. There was one that was between Kane and The Undertaker, and I those guys can always put on a decent match. But it's going to be the first ever Divas Hell in a Cell match between Nikki and Brie Bella. Oh my God. The first time they ever have a Divas Hell in a Cell match. It's going to be between the fucking Bella Twins. They never thought to do this before. With Trish and Lita. With any of the great, diva, women's wrestler feuds they've had in the last, 15 years. They never thought to do this. This is just so they get people to try and watch their stupid fucking reality show. I never thought a Hell in a Cell match would be a piss break. This will be a piss break. The only thing we can hope, it's going to be just mercifully short. But it won't. It's going to drag on. It's going to leave people reaching for their guns. It's going to leave me wondering, why the fuck am I watching this? I'm probably going to be more invested in tweeting any joke I could come up with, or playing WWE Supercard, than actually watching this match.